Yo yo, hello and welcome. I recently hit Celestial playing more of Rivals, so I thought I'd take a game I had and in a VOD review format, kind of break it down and kind of go over what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, all that jazz. Hopefully teach you something new that you can play to your own ranked games. So I decided to pick this game, but as a quick disclaimer, it is Grandmaster 1, but it's still a good game to go over. So we'll get straight into it. And this is Domination, of course, the Hell's Heaven map. So we start out, how do I say, poking and using your alternate fire, getting as much pulse charge. And that's kind of what you want to do as HELA most of the time, is just kind of sit in the back and poke, or you want to sit on an off angle and poke. Pretty, just kind of basic stuff. Then we have a Venom that dives, so I try to, my cloak, get him off her back, but it does die, unfortunately. We kind of just lose the ability to get this point right away. So they take point automatically, we have to reset. So now that we've reset, and they are down one because of Spider-Man, we push up. And I'm just poking. But then take a slight off angle here. It's not much. It's not like a crazy off angle. But since the tanks are over here, they're not really controlling the space. I'm able to just push up and kind of get a sight line on this cloak. Because they just let me walk past like that. So now this sight line, which is really important because I can get a pick on this cloak. And then I'm still kind of safe. I'm not really safe, but I have bird, so I can bird back and still be fine. We've kind of like taken this kind of like half right here, and they've taken this kind of like half. So we get a healer pick, and then I try to just finish off the fight. So now there's just downtime. We're just kind of waiting for the next fight to kind of start. And here again, we're just poking. And then right here, Venom dives. So, I can see that he's attacking the buggy and kind of the healer. So, I just do my stun right away to stun him and do as much damage as possible to get him off. Because he dived kind of early. Now, we do lose two right here. They weren't paying attention. They got locked up. So as soon as I notice we're down two, I back up. Now, since this is domination, and we've lost two, I know we're already cooked basically. So I just stay on point and die on point to get as much percentage on the point as possible. So yeah. So that's kind of unlucky right there. So poking. So we push with the float. Now right here, whatever mag ults, I didn't like the weight of it, and then I'm gonna bird just to prevent him from hitting me, because sometimes, after cloak or invis ults, if he can't, get the shot on the support, he might just try to get someone that's kind of more out in the open. It's more of a guaranteed pick. So I do that just to make sure I don't get targeted.
Jury, executioner.
Unfortunately, they pop some more ults and we just get completely blown up. There's nothing we can really do there. I was thinking of ulting there, and that's what I was gonna do, but as soon as Punisher ulted, I knew not to ult, because if you ult after Punisher ults, he's just gonna burn your ult down instantly, and you're gonna get no value. So you need to be really careful when you have any character that does like a lot of damage when ulting. Things like Punisher's ult also things like Johnny or like maybe Iron Man where they can just shoot you and in your ult it's kind of hard to hit them. Also Punisher's turret, you know. And of course you need to watch out for all the shields. Again! Again! So here we have to rush point because we lost the last fight, and here this is a really bad position, but we do have to rush point. So I'm thinking of rushing, but then I'm like, oh wait, we have a Spider-Man. I didn't know he's gonna touch, so that's why I kind of stopped my bird earlier. And then I'm able to ult. And we just kind of wiped the team because of ults.
Land for me, good.
So then, again, we're back to kind of poking in the mid fight.
Keep going.
And we're just trying to charge our ult basically here, since we just used it, charge as much as possible. And I do rotate right here as I hear the Bucky hook, because if I get hooked here, I die and we just lose the point because we're down one. So I'm playing just this kind of off angle, and I get damage or I have to back up. Now I'll take the bird, get the health back. And I'm focusing people who are low. That's what you want to be doing. And that's just playing. Now, as a kind of a quick note, at least for all DPS, honestly, especially HELA in my opinion, because you have the range, you need to always be focusing whoever is first uncontested. So this is like your target priority. Whoever is uncontested, or whoever is super low. So whoever can die, or just, you know, getting to do whatever they want for free. And then you focus on the healers, then the DPS, and then finally the tanks. And when I say, like, you know, focus whoever is uncontested, like as a little sub note, I also recommend if you can kill specifically one of the supports when they have an ult, but before they use it, so they lose their ult. So then you can ult without them having ult because they died early. And I can actually show this in the second round. So again, we're just poking. I'm just trying to back this Venom off cover.
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture.
So right here, as I know the Magneto's looking back that way, I basically jump him from the back and try to get him to back up and use his defensive cooldowns, so then he's really easy for our team to pick up. We do pursue this Mr. Fantastic, try to get him staggered. Doesn't work either. So again, this is just more the mid fight. And they're backing up as they take space. Unfortunately, Bucky, he gets hooked by the other Bucky, and he does die here. So I do throw my stun out, hoping to try to stun some of these people and maybe give him just enough time to get out. Unfortunately, it's not enough. Fantastic! So we're basically just guaranteed to lose a fight because of this. So because of that, because I'm tracking ults, it's really important to track ults in my opinion. I try to get the healer that I think has ult. I thought Invis had her ult, so I focused her and then I killed her. And I thought, okay, since they should only have one support up ult. Now the only support ult that is up is now dead, so now I can ult for free. However, I was actually tracking wrong. It was the cloak that ult, not invis. If I had killed Cloak and then ulted, we would have won the fight because they would have had nothing to respond to my defense ult or my offense ult. So that's why you need an ult track. But again, in this case, it was just the wrong person. So that means we're still down. One, or they're going back to spawn, and then they support ult. So it's kind of just against us. So I just stay on point as long as possible. Get as much percentage. This is a objective-based game, so you need to focus on the objective the most, not necessarily killing. Not the most important part in the end.
Immortality has its privileges.
So now we have to reset. Bucky staggers, which is unfortunate. So, oh, whoa. This is a bug. This door is open. I'm not sure what's going on there. There. But alright, so the portal goes down, so as soon as that happens, I'm pushing up with our team. Apply as much pressure as possible, because right now we have 2 ults going off, and they have no support ults, because I did force the other one out in the last fight, and the Invis does not have her ult yet, and now she's been silenced on top of that, or she's about to. So she can't even farm her ult and then get it. So pushing as fast as possible for those healers. And we get a couple picks, so then they have to back up. So again, I'm taking a little off angle here. You will notice that throughout the majority of this game, I don't take any severe off angles, but that's because they have a Venom and a Star-Lord. So I don't want to take too aggressive of an off angle, get caught out. Because, you know, Venom is a tank. I can't really 1v1 him. He wins basically every single time. And Star-Lord's not really a diver, though. So it's a bit more iffy, but they say dive me at the same time. I could get cooked real quick. And also, because they have a Venom, I am playing a bit more back and helping to peel Venom off my healers. If they didn't have divers at all, I would highly recommend taking more off angles as HELA, if not exclusively doing that the majority of the time. Unless, you know, the enemy tanks are just constantly walking up, so you need to, you know, play with your team more and apply more front pressure on the tanks. And again, this is the target priority I'm talking about. He can die. He's the most likely person that can die. And then it is a 65, and that was guaranteed the win, since we also have Bucky ulting into their team at the same time. So I focus the Venom, but I don't even kill him fast enough, but it's fine because our team just pops off. But since he's so low, he can't, you know, really re-engage with the team fight, so he's stuck kind of running away. So right here, you know, where you're almost about to cap the point, I often do this where I'll sit a bit far up and I'll look to see if anyone who's pushing up a bit too fast, especially a squishy, if I can get a pick on them and cause them to be severely staggered. And as you can see here, I do this with the best possible target. I do this with the Cloak. I 2-tap her. Now we only need 14 more percentage, and their main, or not their main healer, but one of their healers are down. So they're coming in not only in a 5v6, but also down a healer. So I continue to back up. However, I do kind of get severely jumped by 2p up like at once by the Star-Lord, and then the mag kind of pushes me in the wall. It's extremely unlucky. If I had, you know, played a bit farther back quicker, it would have been better, because the advantage of them losing a healer is kind of reverted, because I die. Now, she's still coming back from spawn, but it's really bad. And because of that, you can actually see that they didn't support ult, and we kind of just lose fight because we don't have a ult to counter it. So you really need to be careful of your position, because sometimes something like that can happen, and that makes us lose this point where we would have capped it otherwise if I hadn't died. But since we have time, we wait, we reset, we regroup. And we're just waiting for that cloak to ult. Then as soon as she ults, we push up. I bury just to make sure I dodge the mag ult, and I try to get in a better position for my ult. So then I ult, and to get a really good sightline, this is a really good sightline, especially on this map with the big column. You normally want to ult kind of farther back like here so you can get the full line of sight. But since I hear Emma ult go off, I try to focus down the Starler that is stunned. I do get the res, also on Loki, which is really important. And if you ever have a Bucky, you obviously want to focus the person that's has like the Bucky ult hit by them, and hopefully help the Bucky get the reset. So now that they have their support ult, we back up, give up space, because you can't really do anything here. We just have to back up, because I'm just focusing the Venom, because it's the only person I can really shoot at. And I'm playing around cover here. Try not to die. And then I see the Starler's really low, so I focus him because it's still a. Well, now it's a 65, but it was a 60. Sorry, so I try to get him, but since Cloak died kind of early, we're then able to. I just collapse all in on them, and we win the game from that. So pretty dope. So overall, a couple things to keep in mind is, you know, target priority. You want to always prioritize whoever is like the lowest, whoever you can basically hit, or whoever is uncontested. Then prioritize getting the healers, then the DPS, then the tanks. So that does mean you might want to prioritize a tank if he's really out of position or he's like really low, and if you just shoot him a couple times he dies, and the healers won't be to save him. Also, off angles really important. You don't have to take, you know, flanks or like hard off angles like I did this game. I almost barely off angled, but that is because we had divers, so I was helping the healers at peeling the venom off the back line. But you know, if the enemy team has, you know, maybe no divers, that might be better to flank more often, especially if you can get healer picks. And then also, which I think this game kind of shows really well, especially in this entire second round, is ults. There was many times where you can kind of see, for instance, kind of like right here, where we have healer ults, and they don't, and we ult, and we push really aggressive, and because of that, we're able to claim all this space, and because they're stunned, we're able to get healer picks, and just win. So keeping track of ults, ult tracking, really important if you want to hit Celestial. As oftentimes, if you can win the initial fight and get kind of the ult advantage, even if they win the next fight, you then have the ult advantage for the next fight, and you kind of just go back and forth and winning and losing fights. But since you have like that initial advantage on ults, you in the end always win. You don't always have to win, you know, 3-0, you know, 2-0, and completely dumpster the enemy team. Again, you know, the target priority. But then also something here, which is, you know, especially on a domination map like this, where they have to rush the point, trying to get an initial stagger, like you can see here. I see the cloak, and I just 2-tap her, and now they're down as support. That's really important, because now they're going to fight at a severe disadvantage. Now, it's also important to not then stay too far up, because you can see here I'm playing a bit too close to the enemy team with, I'm technically in front of my tank. Now, I am playing in cover, at least in this specific situation. Instead of kind of backing up like this, I should have, you know, backed around this piece of cover and then to here. And I would have been a bit more health. I would have found the Star-Lord, but since he was lower health, I probably could have killed him instead. But instead I die because I get jumped, and because I kind of throw the fight technically. Now our healer does die at the same time, but if I had stayed up, we could have potentially won this fight, because the stagger that I got on the invis from 2-tapping earlier is just completely lost, and we probably could have won this without having to do a second fight if I hadn't died. So whenever you get that advantage, that pick, and now it's a 6v5, don't pressure too hard. Kind of more back up and play a bit more passive, because since it's 6v5, you almost always win, unless they're using, you know, like a support ult or something like that, or you know turn around and die. And then here, one other little thing, which is specific for HELA, well, really too, is knowing kind of where to ult. Obviously, you need to know when to ult, but knowing kind of where to ult specifically in certain maps is really important, because if I had ulted here, I would have got almost no value. Their support ult is down, but I was counting, so I knew it was about to go down, though. And also comboing ults, since she's stunning him, it's really easy to actually hit him in my ult. It's normally a lot harder against flyers, because the projectiles are kind of slow and they're not, you know, they're not his skin. Because he's stunned, I'm able to kill him, and I'm able to get the res. That's another little tidbit, is if you have a Loki or a Thor and they die, oftentimes to try to get the res, it's best just to ult and try to, you know, get a pick with the ult, because it's oftentimes a lot harder just to normally get a pick, especially since you've now either lost a tank or a support, which is really bad. So yeah, that's kind of everything. So I hope y'all learned something. I don't know if I'm the best teacher, but yeah. Priority, target priority, taking off angles or peeling, and then comboing ults, you know, paying attention to ult tracking. Highly recommend doing that. That'll help you a lot. And of course, practice your mechanics, you know, combos, and is always nice. You don't have to practice a lot, just, you know, a bit every day, or, you know, a bit, you know, every other day, you know, 20-30 minutes, you know, every other day. So I hope you enjoyed. Do the usual YouTube stuff, like and subscribe if you want, and I'll see y'all in the next one.